Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Tips from the Top. Tonight we have a Sapphire Ambassador, Rebekah Williams. Rebekah is a mother of three, and she also works a full-time job while rocking her Plexus business. And I am super excited for her to share her testimony and tips on how in the world she keeps it all together. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, Rebekah.
All right. Hey guys, I'm excited to be with y'all tonight. So I will just jump on in and just share my story with you. So over 2 years ago, I had two children, and I was like Angie said, I was working full time, and I was exhausted, and I was sick a lot. One of my friends' mothers is a doctor, and I was talking to her, and I was like, I just am exhausted. Something is wrong. And so I went to see her at her office, and I was telling her how my joints were aching, and she was really concerned. She was worried that I had an autoimmune issue. And so she was like, well, let's take some blood. And I don't want to tell you what I speculate is going on, but I really think we need to get this lab work back and meet back up. So the nurse comes in and takes 8 vials of blood, which I'm like, what is happening here? So fast forward a week, the results come back, and everything was fine. So that was wonderful, but I had no explanation as to why I was constantly sick. I mean, monthly. Why my joints were aching, why I was so tired. And it just didn't add up. I come from a family of really high energy people and entrepreneurs. And I was just like, what is wrong with me? Children are going to kill me. I was like, this is it. And so I was thankful for the good news, but it did not answer my questions. So I saw Julia Carty, who signed me up. I saw her post, and it really grabbed my attention because she shared from her heart. And she said, if you know Jared and I, which I had grown up with Jared, and she was my sorority sister, so I'd known her since college. She was like, you know that we would never do direct sales, network marketing. And that really spoke to me because I was like, turned my nose up at direct sales. To be quite honest, I was like, oh, I'll never do that. And so that immediately grabbed my attention. I was like, okay, well, I'll listen. And she had messaged me and asked if I was interested. And I really ignored her for a month or so. She sent me some information. I kind of lingered, and I just tried another company's products. And I liked them, but they were real expensive, and I had sent them back. So I told my husband, I was like, okay, I'll order this. But if I don't like it, we'll get our money back. And we both have great jobs. But I'm still super frugal. And I was like, I'm not paying for this stuff if it doesn't work. And so, I tried it, and in week 2, I felt worse. So I was like, well, this is lovely. I feel worse than I have been feeling. And so talked to her. She kind of walked me through that. My skin was broken out. I had headaches. And so I powered through. I started feeling great. And she asked me if I would meet her and Andrea at a Chick-fil-A just to hear about the business. So let me remind you that I was like kind of still not real sure about the business because, again, I just didn't have a good taste in my mouth for anyone that had ever done direct sales. I had watched a few friends join other companies and have great success or acquaintances. So I was like, okay, I'll go to Chick-fil-A and I'll listen to them. So I'll walk into Chick-fil-A that day, and here I am in my industry. I'm in insurance sales, and we call it suited and booted, which is just a slang we use, which means we're full suits, briefcases, dressed to nines. We're meeting with CEOs. And so I'll walk into this Chick-fil-A, and there sit Andrea and Julia. Their hair is like in top knots. Their kids are playing in the play place. And I was like, oh, okay, what are we doing here? And Andrea starts talking. I have a small window of time. I'm really not paying attention. I'm like looking at other people they've invited, and I'm like, this is just not for me. And Andrea said, yeah, well, I'm averaging about $12,000 a month. What? put the brakes on. I was like, okay, now she's got my attention. I had just dropped my 2 babies off at daycare, and in Birmingham, that's like $2,000 a month. Here I was, full suit, gone all day. I'm like, what am I doing wrong here? She's making $12,000 a month and I'm turning my nose up. So I immediately was like, okay, I'll try this. So I went home and I called my husband, talked to my immediate family, and I was like, I think I'm going to do this. And I called my father, who was always my voice of reason. And I was like, Dad, listen to this opportunity. He's like, yes, let's do it. This is going to be awesome. He had been a preacher for 40 years, never anything like this. So I was super pumped because my husband and I, like I said, had great jobs, but we never seemed to have like extra. And we bought a house that was built in 1975, and I really wanted a new kitchen. So I told Julia, okay, I'll do this, and I need $50,000. And she must have thought I was insane, but I was serious. I was like, I need $50,000, and that's my goal here. And so I jumped in feet first. I was like, okay, let's do this. I picked up the phone, called friends. I started posting on Facebook immediately. I made it on the leaders board within a week or two of being in Plexus, like for the most preferred customers. I didn't even know what leaders board was. I was like, is that like for our team? Who is the leaders board? What is that? Like Julia added my first ambassador and my dad to her team page because I didn't know how to do that. But what I'm telling you is I was excited and I just shared that. I shared that boldly. So that was in November of 14. And 1 month later, my dad was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia. So that put the brakes on. We didn't know what that meant. I did not know that was a terminal diagnosis, but I knew he was sick. I knew he'd be treated in Birmingham. So that was December. And then in November, I'm doing my months wrong. That was December. And then in January, I got pregnant with our 3rd child. So here I was working full time, balancing a terminally ill father, pregnant, and I was just like something new in the mix. I wasn't really planning, and I'm a planner. So I started getting really overwhelmed with the business, and I started, letting the devil just steal my joy, my confidence, like anything that I had. And Lindsay, Russell, and I signed up, I think within a day or two of each other. And I started comparing myself to others, to her journey. She was ranking up really fast, and here I was, like, world spinning out of control. And I just started thinking, maybe this isn't for me. It took me until March. I signed up in November, and it took me till March to go silver. So those of you that are sitting there thinking, I haven't even achieved a rank yet, it's okay. You can still take it to the top. And if you've been sitting at silver for a year, that's okay. This is your journey and what is going on in your life, whether you work, whether you don't work, that it's your life. It's your journey. There are some people that have taken a year break off Plexus. Wherever you are in your journey, it's yours, and you can be successful at this business. So again, I was kind of stuck in that, like, what is happening? My life is falling apart. And so let's fast forward a little bit. I went gold in July and then senior gold in August. My father passed away on August 10th. I would go to work. I would go to the Hope Lodge, which is kind of like Ronald McDonald for adults. And I would lay in his bed and cry and cry and cry. And then I would go home and work Plexus if I was mentally capable. So then in August, I went senior gold, which, okay, Dad died on the 10th. The baby was born September. That was August 10th. The baby was born September 5th. And I literally was like, I'm quitting. I'm quitting Plexus. Like, I was only senior gold at the time. I think Lindsay had gone diamond. And I keep saying Lindsay because she was just blowing it out of the water, and I could not get my eyes off of what others were doing. I was successful in my corporate job, but I wasn't ranking like, someone that joined right when I did. And I just could not get my blinders on. So I'm going to go through, and I said, okay, I'm going to give it till December, and then I'm done. I'm quitting. I didn't tell anybody that. I didn't tell my team, but that was where I was mentally. It wasn't happening when I wanted it to happen, like I wanted it to happen. Now, I had an amazingly supportive team that would, like Brooke was my rock. She would call and say, I'm adding someone to the team, but I just couldn't emotionally, I just wasn't there. So I tell you all of this to say that, again, no matter where you are, you can do this. So I've learned some things along this journey. I ended up sticking with it, went enrolled in April, and then the next September went Sapphire. But what have I learned? The number one thing I've learned is we kind of focus on, and I'm probably going to burst your bubble here. You want to hear from me because I'm a working mama in the corporate world. I haven't given it up. I love my job. I love what I do. But the truth is I'm busy, but whether you're a working mama, whether you're a stay-at-home mama, whether you're a father, a son, whatever you are, you're probably busy. You're probably just as busy as I was. Whether you have a tragedy happening in your life, whether you're rocking along, it doesn't matter what your title is. I'm sure you're busy. I spent last week on vacation and I thought, how do these stay-at-home moms do it? Because you're busy. So what I want to tell you is I want to go over these items that I've learned along the way and how to deal with just being busy, and how I think a lot of the business is really, it's an emotional game. Hold on. Angie, I think we need to mute one more time. I'm hearing a lot of background noise.
I'm going to go through right now.
Okay. I have a really short attention span. So what I want to tell you is we're all busy, and these are the things I've learned. So the first thing that I held on to, and no matter what people would tell me, it was so hard for me to let go of, is comparison is the thief of joy. Please hear me. Comparison is the thief of joy. If you spend your time worrying about your power partner that's ranking above you, or your friend that you see over here, or if you think the market is saturated, or whatever any of these negative thoughts, if you spend your time there, you're not going to be successful. You've got to shut down the negativity. You've got to shut down the comparison. Because whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. So if I would have spent that time, instead of wondering what I was doing wrong, wondering what magic potion they had, wondering what they were doing, what I wasn't doing, what they were doing was being consistent. What they were doing was income producing activities, reaching out, being consistent, following up. So just write that down. Comparison is the thief of joy. Stop comparing your journey to someone else's journey. This is your life. God has you where He wants you. Start where you are and move forward. Don't compare to anyone else. If you say you don't have time, I don't have time for that. I mean, really, like, if you've said that before, then stop. Because this is going to be TMI, but if you had a bowel movement today, then you had time to post on Facebook. If you think you don't have time, make time. If you get up at 5:30, well, then get up at 5 a.m. What is the 30 minutes going to do? That 30 minutes is going to allow you time to build your business. So, we all make time for what we want to do. So make this a priority. The next thing is believe. Believe in our products. Believe in yourself. Believe in the opportunity. Write the word believe down. Believe in yourself. I know that when I started, my husband Rich was like, "Are you going to start a team page?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Well, Julia is Ruby. Y'all, she is Ruby. She has 100 people on her team. I don't know 100 people that want to work this business. I'm not making a team page." So my husband created my team page, which is so sad to admit, but I want you to understand, if you're at this same emotional spot, that you can still make it to the top. So, I needed to believe from the beginning that I could do this too. So believe in our products, boldly offer our products and this opportunity to others. Because if you believe it, that is going to ooze from you. People are going to feed off of that. Another thing is, which kind of goes with belief, is confidence. Confidence is everything. If you are presenting our products to someone and you don't really know everything, you're like, yeah, you should try Plexus. Well, okay, the products, people aren't going to do that. People, okay, whatever. But if you're like, oh, you've got to try this, I feel amazing. That confidence, people are like, oh, really? Well, tell me more. If you confidently offer the business, people are going to want to hear more. Confidence really is the key to so much in life. My brother has always said, like, if you walk confidently and act like you belong somewhere, people believe you do. So while you're getting getting a firm foundation in the business, if you confidently offer something and you don't know the answer, then just say, you know what, that's a great question, I'll get back with you. But you've put yourself out there and you've presented yourself well, and people want to know more. So you don't have to know it all, because that was another thing that really held me back, is I want to know it all. I have a ton of questions, and I felt like, well, I don't know what I'm doing. Well, it's okay. Nobody knows what they're doing. We still know what we're doing, but we confidently present, and that confidence is contagious. So another thing I hear a lot, which kind of goes with confidence, is people are like, oh, I don't want to bug them. I don't want to be annoying. Well, when I signed up to be an ambassador, I didn't stop being Rebekah Williams. Is my personality annoying? Do I annoy my friends? I don't think so. I hope I don't. So I didn't stop being me. So if you remember that you are still you just are now Plexus ambassador, then quit worrying if you're bugging people, because if you don't, that's not who you are. So but you have to remember, people haven't tried our products. They don't know how wonderful they are. So you have to be consistent and you have to keep following up. But don't worry that you're bugging them, because you are offering them a life-changing opportunity. For someone to make an extra $1,000 a month can change their life. For someone to not be chronically fatigued and be present with their family, that can change their life. So remember that you have something to offer that is amazing. So if you have that confidence that you really have something amazing to offer, then you're not bugging people. So just, these are things I've heard along the way where people are like, you're not bugging people. Okay. So the next thing is consistency. So like I said, I hate to burst your bubble. I'm a corporate person, but I'm not, we're all busy. I'm super involved in my church. I'm super involved with my children. I don't miss anything with my kids. So what does that look like? What does that consistency look like for me? Okay, well, I'm willing to wake up and do my quiet time and then work my business. And then because I am in the corporate world, I'm not going to post between 8 and 5. I don't want to be fired. I am respected in what I do, and I want to keep that respect. Well, that's okay. Don't use I can't post between 8 and 5 as a reason why you can't be successful, because that's another excuse. So I also work and do Plexus to be better for my family. So from 5 to 8, when I'm home, I want to give, and my children are in bed, I want to give them all of me. I want to be 100% present. So I do my best, and I'm not perfect, but I do my best to set my phone down from that, 5 to 8 while I'm with my children. On my lunch break, I will work the business because and I can do what I want to on my lunch break. Now that may be personal stuff, but when I get home, I'm going to set my phone down and I'm going to step away. But then at night, I used to watch TV or, want to go to bed early. I use that time afterwards to work my business. So you have to look at your day and you have to say, to be successful, I have to be consistent. And so what does that mean? Where am I going to find the time? So if it's setting business hours, do that. If it is, saying every single day from 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m., I'm going to, work my business. Get organized. That is, for all of us crazy, busy people, that is key. Write that 100 list so that you can write notes and know when it's my 30 minutes to work my business, I can jump in, I can send my cold messaging, I can do my follow-up, I can do some training, and be creative with how you can multitask. I drive 30 minutes to and from work. I used to use that time to train myself. Now I use that time to talk with my team. It's very important that I'm in touch with my leaders. So I am on the phone to and from work always. It's uninterrupted, and I get to talk with them. Where are we? What are we doing? What are we doing this month? How are we getting organized? So look at your day. All of our lives are different, and see where you can make it happen. If it's asking your husband, hey, will you give me 3 hours on Saturday to do everything for the week? Maybe you want to work your whole business in one day. Whatever it is, do it uninterrupted, consistently, because that consistency is going to be key. So remember too that this is a business. This is not a hobby. We all get overwhelmed. We all have life that comes at us. And boy, did life hit me when I started. But I love the phrase I heard when I began. It was, when you get overwhelmed, take a breath, not a break. So write that down. If you get overwhelmed, take a breath, not a break. So if you take a break, it's going to be really hard to get back in. But if you have a day, like Mondays are hard for me, but I'm here and I'm doing my best for you all. Mondays are, like I was off last week. I, had 100 emails that had action items when I got into the office, and, I'm trying to catch up, and then I get home and Tripp has violin. I need to cook dinner and I need to be prepared for y'all. It's hard. So when you have a day where you just like, there's only so much of me and I can only do so much, turn your phone off, go have some quiet time, get with the Lord, ask Him to direct your path, take a break, decompress, go to bed, and then get ready the next day and get going. Like, take a breath, but not a break. So allow yourself grace. We're human, and there's only so much of us. But when you feel overwhelmed, just kind of go back to that, get organized, do what you can do in the window of time that you set aside, and then let go. Let go. Your journey is your journey. And when you know that you've taken those action steps, the business, you will be successful. It will come. It may take time, and it may not be on that timeline that you wanted, because I would have been diamond a year ago, but that's okay. I'm still successful at the business. And what is success? Is diamond successful? Yes. Is making $500 a month for your family successful? Absolutely. So I think that we need to remember too, sometimes we get so caught up in where we're going that we don't appreciate where we are. So I just encourage you to take every day and find the blessings in that day. What has Plexus done for you? Obviously, financially, it has blessed me more than I can even comprehend. But when I was writing my post yesterday for our IPA challenge, and what my preacher had challenged me to do, I started realizing, I've had the hardest year of my life. And, I can get caught up in the fun trips I've had and the money and the products. But what Plexus has given me more than anything are amazing support group of godly women that have picked me up and encouraged me when I couldn't go anymore. So what can you, don't think about what the business can do for you. What can you do for someone else? Who on your team could use to be picked up? Who can you lift up today? Who can you encourage today? That is contagious. Think about this business as how you can bless someone. How can you help a mama have energy? How can you, help someone have extra money to pay the bills? Like, what can you do for someone else? Because I know for me, I'm a doer, and I like to help others. And if I can, help someone else. I know one night, one of our teammates, and I haven't even looked to see if you're on the call, but it was like 10:30 at night, and she was like, "Hey, can you talk?" And I was exhausted and I was tired, and I really wanted to be like, "No, I'm in the bed. I can't." But she was in a low spot, and I jumped up out of the bed, and we got on the phone, and she just cried, and I was able to lift her up. That blessed me more than it blessed her. Like, that is what this is all about. What can we do for others? How can we build each other up and lift each other up? So my last two little things are, this is your business. Don't wait for somebody to do it for you. Don't wait till somebody gives you the secret sauce. Don't wait until you know it all. Don't wait until you have time. Boldly present this amazing opportunity. Be full of joy. Joy is contagious. A lot of us have been reading Fervent, and it has been amazing. And it has, really opened my eyes to the enemy has come to kill, steal, and destroy, and he wants to attack me emotionally. And I seem very confident, but the one thing he attacks me is my self-confidence. I thought, well, what will I have to say tonight to these people? What do I have to give? Like, still at Sapphire, I wonder what I have to offer. But that is where the enemy is attacking me in my confidence. So don't let the enemy steal your joy and your confidence. So I just challenge you to boldly share this and let the joy of what this is doing for you, what the business is doing for you, what the products are doing for you, let that seep out of you. Joy is so contagious, and people will want to join you. They'll want to try and do what you're doing, what you're doing. So that is really all I have for y'all tonight. I would love to open it up if anybody has any questions for me. Anything specific about what I do or anything I talked about. Let's see, there's some chat going on and I didn't even read. Okay. Yeah, the comparison. Yes, don't make excuses, make results. Because we all every day, like, I was up through the night because we had bad storms in Birmingham. Like, I had every excuse to say, I can't do this tonight. It's a Monday. I was catching up from spring break. Like, ugh. The best thing, has been this group of godly women that have picked me up and encouraged me. Yes, the Christian influence has been amazing. And just even like Julia sharing her testimony the other day, I said to her, I was like, "Julia, I really love that you did that." And she was like, "Well, someone challenged me." And I said, "I want to do that." And she was like, "Okay, I'm going to challenge you to do that." And she's like, "I'm going to hold you accountable," which we need. Like, if I can passionately share Plexus, then I need to passionately share about my Jesus, because obviously that is all that matters at the end of the day. The name of the book is Fervent, Fervent. Let me tell you, if you start reading it, like Holly Devers, who's leading our group, said, get ready, because you're going to be under attack, because the enemy, he's at work. And but it's awesome to realize those areas where, before I got on this call, I just prayed, like, give me confidence, give me peace, give me the words that people need to hear, because y'all are just like, you're people just like me. Like, why would I be nervous? Hopefully my story can help somebody. So you just have to kind of break that down and get the devil out of your head. Typical outline of my day. So my typical day would be waking up around somewhere in the 5 range. Usually it's 5:30 or so. And I do my quiet time, and then I go ahead and get my team post out for my page. And then I try to either buffer my personal post, or a lot of times I do that at night, but just kind of wherever I am in the day, I try to swap it up. So I may do my personal post then. Driving to work and home from work, I'm always on the phone, no questions asked. And earlier in my journey, when I didn't have someone to talk to all the time, that I was always listening to I live for Jennifer Pickett. I love the way she explains the products. She has a Slim Probiotic BioCleanse video. They're 5 minutes a piece. If you don't have them, I can see if we can tag them somewhere. But I lived by them because I'm not clinical. I have a degree in marketing, totally not clinical. Like we fake it till we make it in marketing. So I needed to hear the way she broke it down. And I would go to Sip and Seas and I would kind of re-say what she said. And it really made me sound like I knew what I was talking about. And people were like, oh, okay. Because I didn't. But again, fake it till you make it. So, but it really was helpful. So if you're in that season where you don't really have quite the big team yet, then train yourself, folding clothes, driving, whatever you have. And then lunch is a lot of following up on emails. And then laying in bed at night is my next hammered out. If I'm not doing a call, then I'm always on the phone at night, just usually that last hour. My husband goes to bed at 9 because he goes to the gym or he wakes up at 4, he's like crazy workouter. So I usually from 9 to 10 while he's asleep, I lay there and just, catch back up. And then that's quite a few hours, but I'm a little bit further into it. I think when you're first getting started, I think if you can set 30 minutes a day, I think that's great. And then as your team grows, allow different pockets in your day. Okay. Yeah, time management can be hard. That's why I say, I really cling to take a breath, not a break, because I'm human. And you can ask I'm super transparent with the Jules, and you can ask them. I mean, I've had the last thing one of our meetings here in Birmingham, I was talking to Holly, and I'm just like, I get overwhelmed. I get overwhelmed just like everybody else does. I get frustrated, but when I do, and I think there's only so much of me to go around, that is when I take my breath and I unplug for a second and I say, okay, there is only so much of me. And what is important? What is important is that I get my quiet time in first. What is important is that I'm here for my family. But also, when I'm off watching a Kardashian show, which is trash and will ruin my mind, I can be doing my Plexus business. When I'm off chatting it up to Brooke and being silly, I can be doing income producing activities. So when you get overwhelmed, the best thing to do is look back at your day and say, okay, let me be realistic. What in my day did I do that wasn't income producing? Did I scroll through and, look at the top online for some cute outfits? Okay, well, maybe I should have gotten myself organized. And that's where the list, where your hundreds list really comes in, because time. And I use my calendar. So I write everybody I'm following up with on my calendar. So I can open my calendar back up, who do I need to follow up with? And that's when organization is key. So when I say take a breath, I don't mean make excuses because you're so overwhelmed because life is just hard, because it's hard. I mean, take a breath, get organized, and go back at it. That consistency. Reading Bondage Breaker and Undertale. Okay. We'll send the videos on the organizing process. I really do think if you have just a list of 100 people, I started, and it's in my other desk, but I have a 3-ring binder, and I like to write. So I had my 100 list, and I break that down by 100 people you just want to share Plexus with. And then I had another page for who I wanted to do the business with me. And a key is don't prejudge. One of the key people that I would say don't prejudge would be Miss Kelly Hawkins Godwin. Beautiful, Miss Pageant, everything, attorney. I did not offer the business to her because I was like, she's got it all. She has a super crazy, amazing amazing. I prejudged direct sales, and she'll tell you, why did y'all not ask me? And I'm like, whoa, Lord, I thought she's rocking and rolling. So don't prejudge. So when you're making that list, if there's somebody amazing that you want to write down that you think already has a successful career, write them down, because people want to be invited. But I had that 3-ring binder where I had the hundreds list. And I still have my 3-ring binder, but I mostly work off my calendar now. And then I do have another page even for customers, because the biggest thing as far as customers is setting expectations, managing expectations. When you have a brand, when you have a potential, and you talk to them about how amazing our products are and what the products will do for them, if you don't tell them, this is to heal your body from the inside out, this is going to take time, this is not a quick fix, they're going to call you on day 2 and say, it doesn't work. Well, no, it doesn't work. It's day 2. You've got to let the products get in. So that's why it's so important to have that list and know that you've managed expectations from the front end and follow up. If you've told them on Monday how to take the products, then you need to call them on Wednesday when they're getting started. Are you taking your products correctly? And ask questions, open-ended questions like, so how are you doing? What products did you take this morning? Even though you told them what to take, ask them what they did take, because you may have said to take your ProBio 5 at bedtime and they're probably taking it at breakfast. You can work on whatever works for them, but no matter if you just told them, ask them again. I've learned from experience, people don't listen. See if they're drinking their water, see if they're eliminating, follow up. You can't follow up too much in the beginning, because happy customers make the best ambassadors. And that's a very critical time, managing those expectations. But the Kardashians are so good. I'm guilty of still watching some trash every now and then. But as long as I've gotten my business worked in for the day. And some people like to say, I don't like to be told I can't watch TV. I'm not telling you what you can or you can't do. This is your business. This is your thing. I'm just saying, if you tell us you don't have time, none of us have time. If you ask a stay-at-home mama, when is there a break that, especially with my little Pierce, he's one. He's over there climbing up all the stairs, opening all the drawers. So if I'm home with him, and what ideally would sound like, oh, well, I'm not at the office, it's hard. So that's why you have to be organized. Consistency builds discipline, and discipline actions done consistently create success. Hear that again. Consistency builds discipline. Discipline actions done consistently create success. So it's not a magic potion. It's consistency is truly what it is. What is a hundreds list? A hundreds list is just write 100 people that you would like to share Plexus with. If you think, I don't know 100 people, start. You could do the Franks list. Was it friends, relatives? I don't even know all the definition. But what I do know is for me, I went back to my childhood. Who were my friends in elementary school? Who are my friends in middle school? Who are my friends in high school? Who are my friends in college? Who do I know at my office? Who are my kids' friends? Who are my neighbors? Break down everywhere you've ever been. And if you run out of people to write down on your hundreds list, when you're out and you have a waitress that's waiting on you that's full of personality and you're like, she would kill it or he would kill it, say, you should do what I do. Well, what do you do? Oh, send me your email and I'll send you some information. Or I would get text. Give me your number and I'll send you some information. Short, simple, they're busy, let them keep going. But you could always have a list of people that you could be reaching out to. So what that is a list of people you want to share the products with or the business with. I like to make 2 separate lists. So products versus business, so you know who you're following up with. Okay. Only at lunchtime. I don't know what Courtney was saying, only at lunchtime. How can I build up the friends list since I'm not from here originally? Where are you from? Like, are you saying you're from like another state? Because, I mean, it doesn't have to be people from here. Reach out to whoever, like I said, elementary school. I mean, reach out to them all. How many business hours do you put in daily, approximately? Well, it gets a little bit different as your team gets larger, so I don't want to like scare anybody. But I work before I go to work. I work lunch. I work like 30 minutes driving to and from, so that's an hour. Lunch is an hour, so that's 2. Probably 30 minutes or so in the morning. So and then an hour at night. So I work. I work a lot right now, but I'm also in a season where my team is in full momentum. I've signed over 2,400 people. Not me, like my team has over 2,400 people that have signed up on my team throughout this journey. So that's going to look a little bit different on this side of it. When you're making 6 figures, you should expect to be putting in at least a good 4+ hours a day. I think. As you thought that's fair, Angie?
And am I muted? Okay. I would say it varies because, I'll be honest, there's some days that I work 30 minutes and there's some days that I work 5 hours. And that's the beauty of it. You can really tailor your schedule around what works best for you, what works best for your family at that time. So, it really is, it's just depending. I think a minimum right now, I probably work at a minimum like an hour or 2 hours a day. Some days I work 5 hours a day. It just kind of varies. But definitely in the beginning, I'm sorry. Definitely in the beginning, I would say like try to dedicate at least 30 minutes a day. And whether that be 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at lunch, driving home from work,
I think that if you can, at the beginning, work 30 minutes is beautiful. I think you could totally be successful if you are organized and say, I'm doing this in 30 minutes. I'm in the zone. That is fabulous. If you're consistent, if you say 5 days a week, it doesn't matter what days those are. And that is what Plexus Freedom is. It's not hitting the jackpot and it being a lottery ticket and you just soaring to the top by chance. It is being able to work the business when it works for you. So even as, like I said, if you have one day and you can work 8 hours and that be it for the week and you buffered all your posts and you followed up and you've reached out, and great. If that's, and you put it down and, those posts go out, wonderful. But most of us like to manage, a little bit per day. So I do think that the key there is that consistency. Do we have any more questions?
I was going to say, I really love, you talking about, putting your blinders on and, that really has resonated with me. And I think with anyone along this journey is not comparing yourself to other people, just putting your blinders on and doing that action, because your action, doing that daily work, action creates momentum. Action is going to kill your fear and doubt. And I also love, when you talk about, you make time for what's important. We are all busy. Rebekah works a full-time job. She's got, 3 kids. She's, a busy mom. But, it's like she said, if you're a stay-at-home mom, you've got kids at home, and it's crazy, and then you look up, and the next thing you know, it's 4 o'clock, and it's time to make dinner. We're all busy. We've all got things going on. But if you really want something, you are going to find time in your day to make it work. We're all going to make time for what's important to us.
Something else I want to point out that I think that people need to hear this. When I started, I cold messaged Holly Devers. I cold messaged Melissa Amos. Y'all, they are complete, amazing rock stars. They did not sign under me. I could have said, well, that's it. It didn't work for me. These rock stars didn't sign under me. But I want you to hear that if there was somebody that you were just like, I need this person for my business to be successful, and that one person that you were counting on didn't sign under you, if you let that halt your business, if you let that tell you you're not going to be successful, then you're not. You're not going to be successful if you let that one person that didn't sign under you. Because what would I have been missing out on if I had thrown the towel in for the one that got away? Because the truth is, somebody's going to get away. There's going to be somebody that you wanted that you didn't get. That's life. So I encourage you and challenge you to, that's part of putting the blinders on, not just comparing your journey, but don't get caught in the weeds. Like if somebody didn't sign under you, keep moving. You can do this. You can do this. Absolutely. I think that people look at someone else's journey and think, well, she's Sapphire. That must have been, it just worked for her. No, it didn't just work for me. Like, it's hard work. Like, we've all had challenges, be it personal, business, so I just want you to, if you let those bumps in the road, if you get so focused on the bumps, because we're going to have them, you're going to get stuck. Like, just keep moving forward.
I love at convention when they said, like they had all the jewels were sitting on the floor, and they said, the only difference between the people that were sitting on the floor and the people that were up in the stands or whatever it is that they've had more no's. So yes. I mean, that's really the only difference. The only difference between a jewel and a non-jewel is we've just been rejected more. I mean, it takes a lot of rejection to get to the top and a lot of getting over yourself.
And that's where the confidence comes in, because we are human. We struggle with confidence, maybe I'm the only one, probably not the only one, because I struggle with it. And so that is where, God brought this opportunity to you. He brought it to me. And if I would have let the enemy, let me believe those lies that I didn't have the time, then I would have quit back that December of 15 where I was like, I'm done. And I would have missed out on so much, so very much. So I've enjoyed being with y'all. I hope this was helpful. We can take calls if anybody has any more, or questions if anybody has any more. But I really hope that you all can take something from this.
Yes. Thank you so much, Rebekah. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule
You're welcome.
Be with us tonight. And I cannot wait to hug your neck at the end of this month.
I know. I'm excited.
Yes, I am too. Y'all have a good night. And our next call will be in 2 weeks. And we'll have Brooke Smith on. So I'm excited. Bye, everyone.
Oh my gosh.